Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been so much going on, like entirely too much going on, that before I started this video I was like, let me get some Starbucks, because I've been working so much this month. If you guys remember from the last video, I said that I was gonna put myself on call first. Oh no, not call first, sorry. I was gonna put myself on an AM shift, which is 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. And let me tell you, this has been the longest month of my life. It's only been 28 days. This has been a lot. Working 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. is very different. And I don't want to do this again ever in life. Before we get started, and I tell you guys all the tea on working AM shift thus far, I do want to thank everyone for subscribing to my channel thus far. I'm thankful for all of you guys. I haven't been able to post as much as I would like to because my schedule has been so hectic and I've been overworked, and we will talk about that soon as to why I haven't been posting, because I've been working so much. But yeah, thank you guys. Continue to share this information with your friends and others who are interested in becoming a flight attendant. Oh, also I've updated my, what is it called, the like description, the section below. You guys, when it comes to social media and like updates and things like that, I'm very grandma. I'm probably the last person to update my phone. I never know how to do stuff, like, which is why I just want to go live. I just want to press one button and then the next button is upload. I don't want to edit, make it all cute. No, girl, I already have to do my makeup and look cute, and then you want me to edit, and then you want me to do all the shorts and all that stuff. No, I don't have time to do all that. Not even that I don't have time, I don't want to, okay? So no, these videos are gonna continue to look like this. And y'all are here to get the information. Like, honestly, when I watch YouTube videos, I don't even look at the person. I'm normally cleaning up or doing something else, or like going to work, or like, I'm normally doing something, so I'm just listening to it. I'm not actually watching the video. So if you're actually watching the video, can you drop like a purple heart to let me know if you're actually watching it, or if you just like listen to it. If you listen to it, that's fine too, but give me a purple heart if you're actually like sitting down, watching, tuning in like TV, because that would be helpful. If y'all are doing that, then maybe I will like sharpen my skills on editing and things like that. Anyways, so I put in some information in my description section. I have my Cash App if you want to donate, and I put in my PO box if you want to send me anything, my email, and I do have 2 Instagrams. One I don't really use and it's private, so I don't feel like it's worth following. And then the other one is a skincare page that I use to talk about skincare, because that is what I really love, and that's Pristine Pores. So if you're into skincare, definitely follow that page. But the flight attendant stuff will be mainly on YouTube, so you don't really have to like follow me on Instagram unless you want to talk about skincare, because that's what I like to talk about on there. Also, I see a lot of you guys are going to training, so definitely let me know how training is going and keep me up to date on that. Y'all, this girl is outside talking and smoking, and it's just like, I know you see me making a video. Bruh. Okay, anyways, we're just gonna speak. We're just gonna act like we don't hear her. I put myself on 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the month of February. Now, let me pull up my schedule so we can like really talk about this. I wasn't as concerned. I was thinking to myself, even if I do work a lot, I won't really have a lot of 4 days, because, okay, so my first of the first week, I was on call February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then on the 6th, I was supposed to have like an in-flight, online training experience, whatever. So basically I get to sit at home and do a virtual class online. So that means no flying. And then I was gonna be on call on the 7th. So I was like, you know what? I don't care what my schedule is as long as I don't have a 4-day. And I think I really only had technically maybe 2 opportunities to have 4 days this month. But going back to being on call the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, because the 6th is supposed to be an online class, right? Please listen closely, okay? On February 2nd, that's when the winter storm Landon came. And the 3rd was supposed to be my first day of being on the AM shift, right? So they give me a trip at 8 p.m. on the 2nd, right? To go in tomorrow on the 3rd at 4 p.m. I go to bed, I pack my bag, I'm like, okay, I'll be ready for tomorrow, it's fine, like I can go in later. I'm just counting all the pluses, right? So I go to sleep and, you know, I just wake up in the middle of the night and I have a missed call from crew support, okay? Missed call from crew support, so automatically already having a panic attack because I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe I missed the call, am I fired? I think it was like maybe 4 in the morning, maybe like 4:30 in the morning that I was just getting up to use the restroom. I checked my schedule. Well, the voicemail said, hey, we just want to let you know that we put a schedule on, we revised your schedule. So I go and I check my schedule and the 4 p.m. trip is now taken off and they put on an 8 a.m. showtime. And it was supposed to be having a like 3-day, actually no, it switched to a 4-day. So they removed the in-flight training that I was supposed to have on that Sunday on the 6th to give me a 4-day. And so I was like, I can't believe they took the training off. I thought the training was like mandatory, which it is, but I talked to crew support later on that day and they told me that, oh yeah, even though that's mandatory, we need, because you have more reserve days available, company needs basically come before training. So they were just like, yeah, you have more reserve days available than other people, so we're just gonna move your training to another day. So I was like, great, because the whole point of having training on that day was to avoid having a 4-day. So now I have a 4-day. So, and now, you know, from resting, trying to get back in the bed and go to sleep at 4, got to get ready in about, you know, 2 hours so I can go to work. To report to work, I think it was like at 8:30 report time. So, mind you, the winter storm Landon is officially here. The roads are super icy. I get to work, the shuttles, the employee shuttles are running on a like slower schedule because I guess there was ice on the roads, yada yada yada, people couldn't get to work, so it's coming every 20 minutes. So that took a while. In the midst of me, I already made it to work. I'm sitting there waiting for the shuttle. I refresh my flight and the flight gets canceled. And I'm like, okay, I'm already here, I'm already in uniform, like, now what? So I called crew support and I was like, hey, my flight just canceled. And they were just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna put you on a ready reserve. So they put me on ready reserve. Then they gave me another trip. So this actually seemed like a cooler trip. It was to Deadhead to LA, and then from LA to Seattle, and then spend the whole day in Seattle, and then like another 2 days. So I was like, okay, that sounds fun. This is still a 4-day trip now. So I'm waiting to fly to LA, and that was supposed to be like at 2. So I've technically been at the airport since 8 a.m. The 2 p.m. flight cancels. Then there's another flight for 4 p.m. That flight cancels. Then there's a flight for 5:30 p.m. They put us on that flight. I had to hurry up and get to another terminal. Mind you, the Skylink train, there was only one train working, and then that train was coming like every 20 minutes, and then it kept stopping, and then it was full of people. It's still a pandemic. It was just hot and nasty, and I was just like, this is not it. That took about 40 minutes just to get to the terminal that I needed to get to. Get to that terminal, the gate agent, I'm trying to check in because it's a short window of when they rebooked my flight, so I'm not able to do it myself. I go to the gate agent and I'm telling him, or telling her rather, hey, can you please like check me in for this flight? And she's like, I don't see your name. And I'm like, okay, can you check again? Because I didn't book it, the company booked it. She's like, I don't see your name. You're gonna have to call crew support and have them rebook you because your name isn't on here. Mind you, this is already a full flight, and the crew support call lines are they already have that. There's a message that says, oh, we're experiencing high call volumes. Da, 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 da. So I call them, I'm on a hold for about 40 minutes. Y'all, the plane has came and went. By the time I get on the phone with them, I'm like, okay, well, I was supposed to be booked, but the plane is gone. So I don't even understand why we're talking anymore. Because I was waiting this whole time. They already boarded, they already closed the door. And they were just like, okay, well, now they have to pull me off the whole trip, me and the other flight attendant off the whole trip, because both of our names were basically booked wrong. Whoever was working in crew support at that time who was supposed to book us, they booked us wrong. So our names weren't showing up as priority, like we need a seat. So we weren't able to get on there, right? Y'all, this has went from an 8 a.m. showtime. It is now 6:30 p.m. And crew support is like, okay, well, since your shift was 4 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can go home now. So I'm like, okay, great, I can go home. So from there, I now have to wait 40 minutes basically to wait on the shuttle to get me to my car. And then the roads are icy, so that's like another 30 minutes of like driving slow to get home. So let's say I get home around 8:30, and I'm like, oh yeah, I work 4 to 4. So now I have to hurry up, you know, take a shower, get myself together, get in the bed, because I need to set my clock for 3:50 a.m. to turn it off of silent and like put the ringer on in case crew support calls me at 4. And let me tell you, that is a disgusting feeling. Waking up at 3:50 to put your phone off of Do Not Disturb and turn the ringer on is not a good feeling. And so I hurry up, I get into bed, I'm like, okay girl, whatever, new day. Take my phone off the ringer at 3:50, and crew support calls me at 4:05 a.m. 4:05 a.m. I literally thought it was my alarm just going off twice, because I was like, there's no way. Yes way. They called me 4:05 a.m. and said, hey, we have a report time for, I don't know, I think it was like 7:20. So I'm like, okay, great. I get up, or I go to sleep for like another hour, then I get up, get dressed, get ready, go to work. Shuttles are of course delayed, so it's like I have to get up and leave the house earlier for that. I probably left about an hour and a half earlier. Probably like an hour and 45 minutes. Normally I leave my house just an hour from the time that I need to report, but I left about an hour and 45 minutes to make time for driving on ice and to make time for the shuttles being late, because you just never know. Y'all, so I finally get there. Please tell me why KCM is closed. KCM is closed, and I'm just like, okay, so how, what is this? Like, why is KCM closed? And KCM, for those of you who don't know, KCM is like the line that airline employees go through. There's no TSA, you just show your badges and you go through. And that line is nowhere to be found, so now I have to go in the regular people line, the TSA line. It's backed up all the way to the back, and now I have to lug all my stuff to get through all these people. And I mean, by the grace of God, no one had an attitude or anything like that, because I'm in a uniform and I look like I'm going to work. So it wasn't bad to like get through all those people. However, it was like doing all of this, and I was just like, why isn't KCM open? Finally get through there, and boom, what do you know, my flight gets canceled. Yeah, my flight gets canceled, and long story short, they give me 3 other trips. All 3 of those cancel. I've been at the airport from 7 to about 3. They finally give me a trip that doesn't cancel. So I was given a 4-day trip that finally went through 3 o'clock by the 4th. And that was that. Didn't have any issues with anyone. Everything was fine. It was a, you know, cool, you know, boring trip. I think I went to Santa Fe, Colorado Springs, and Idaho Falls. Yeah. But y'all, it was draining because I had already been at the airport since 7. And then I believe, yeah, 1, 2, 3. I had already been at the airport since 7, didn't start flying until about 3, and then I had 3 legs on top of that. So that was a long day. I was very tired. Yeah, so it was hectic. Now, what I will say with all of that being said is that I can't even judge what it's like to work AM versus PM, because my first time getting AM, there's a whole winter storm. And of course, if you're on reserve, you're going to get called, okay? You're gonna get called, especially when there's weather, because the senior people and the people who have a line, they're going to call out because they don't want to come to work, or they're commuting. A lot of people are commuting. People say that it's like 90% of like flight attendants and pilots who commute into Dallas. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've been told. I do feel like it is a high number. I would say maybe like 70, because I have met so many people that always say they're commuting in to work. Now, I'm gonna make a separate video because this video has become so long, but this is just the gist of what it's like being on reserve during a winter storm, okay? You will be working. You will get called. Everyone on that reserve list got called. Now, when it comes to being a commuter and taking risks, as you know, I take risks. I don't advise you to take risks, but do what you want. But I'm telling you, don't do it. But I'm gonna do whatever I want, so you can do whatever you want. Now, while I was in the mix of the storm, being called at 4 a.m. and, you know, sitting at the airport and my flights canceling back to back to back to back to back, I was able to find gratitude in that at least I'm in my base. At least I don't have to commute in. and I don't have to deal with that stress, you know? That's what I kept telling myself. I'm like, girl, at least you're not commuting. You came here safe. You get to just sit in the airport. You can relax, like you're fine. But if I had to commute in, first of all, getting called at 4 a.m. and having to figure out how I'm gonna get to work, like let's say if I was still living in Atlanta, having to try to figure out how I'm gonna fly to work, if I'm gonna call out on personal emergency or whatever the case may be, that's stressful because there weren't a lot of flights coming into Dallas. So that means you're not gonna be able to get to work if you're a commuter. There were so many people calling out because they could not commute to work, which is why I was getting called. Now, in that same breath, knowing what I know after the fact, and if I was a real risk taker that was commuting, I would just not show up and just pray that my flights get canceled, which they did the first day. The second day, 4 of them got canceled, and then the 5th one took, and I did have to work. So that's really up to you. If you're gonna be a commuter and you wanna take that risk, if there's a winter storm there, I do feel like there is a 70% chance that your flights will get canceled. So I wouldn't even bother commuting in, and I wouldn't bother wasting an emergency when your flight could potentially get canceled. But that's up to you if you actually want to take that risk and like basically sit there and wait for your flight to get canceled before you actually consider calling out, and then call out if it doesn't get canceled. But again, that's a big risk that if I was commuting, I'd probably be too stressed out to even try to like wait around. I would probably just, you know, call out and then be annoyed. But honestly, that's up to you. As far as commuting and risking it all, that's a scary situation. There were people that I knew that were on they didn't have any more call outs. They were on their last call out. All of the flights that are supposed to go into Dallas were canceling, so they had no way of coming in even if they wanted to. And it's like, times like these where there's a winter storm is make or break. It's like, girl, if you're not here, you're about to be out of a job. So this is where commuting gets real. And it's like, do you really want to be a flight attendant and have to deal with commuting during a winter storm? And it can be a winter storm in your area that prevents you from getting to Dallas, or it can be a winter storm in Dallas that prevents you from getting here. So it can be, anything could happen, which is why I don't recommend commuting. And also, aside from all this commuting, you're not the only person who's commuting. There's plenty of people who are commuting. So that's something that you have to think about as well. I think I'm gonna make a separate video because this video has become so long just explaining the whole shenanigan of week 1 of being on AM Reserve. If you have a crazy story time about working the winter storm, let me know, because I've heard some horror stories. Like, mine sounds bad, but it was more so sitting in the airport all day. But let me know how yours went and what happened. See you guys in the next video. Bye.